Welcome to Perception versus Reality, Sports and Culture. Please enjoy this PVR clip and catch the full episode on our YouTube channel later this week. ADE requested a trade this week, and New Orleans seems to be hesitant about allowing him to go to the Lakers or, I guess, um, giving in to his demand, so to say. The Lakers have offered five different trade options. AD said he wouldn't sign with anyone but the Lakers. Everybody else would be a rental. Kyrie, he's making it hard on Boston also by saying that he doesn't owe anyone anything. So this is kind of a tough position for New Orleans because you want to wait on Boston, but you looking at it like, man, Kyrie giving everybody, like the idea that he's not coming back. AD is saying that he's going to be a 1 year rental. So should we just go ahead and take this Lakers deal because this is going to be the best leverage we're going to have because this summer the Lakers can lowball us if nobody else is willing to outbid them. With that being said, Liam, what's your thoughts on this topic?
Well, I don't think the Pelicans are in a bad situation. They still have AD. They still have the guy. I really honestly think that they could still trade him to Boston and get what they want from him, even though Boston hears about the rental. The issue for the Lakers is this. I think last summer they did get LeBron, but the key was getting a second guy with him and keeping all the other players that they had. So now, if they do trade for AD, they're going to trade a lot of Ingram, Kuzma. The first offer, they said there was just only one offer LA had given them, and it was Rondo, um, Beasley, Ball, and Kuzma in the first round pick. That was the first offer, the only offer LA has offered so far. Of course, Pelicans not going to take that, but if you give up Kuzma, Ingram, Ball, you basically are resetting with a 34-year-old LeBron. You have AD. You're going to have to start getting minimal contracts because now your cap space is gone. I think the key for the Lakers, even though, of course, I would say go in for AD, the key for them is the free agent market. Because if they could get a Kawhi Leonard or someone else, and then they could trade all of them for KD, they can have three players. If they trade for AD right now, they can't go on the free agent market. So if you do it now, you're still setting yourself up to maybe be the third, second best team in the West. If you can get another free agent like a Kawhi, and then since you are trading and you're not adding to a salary cap and you're trading for AD, then you can add a third piece, and now you have a legitimate contender or team there. Now they do say that they can trade for AD and get a Kyrie, but he'll have to sign like $5 million less or something to that degree um, a year to sign with them. But I honestly don't think Kyrie is going to the Lakers. I still think New York. I would say this: it's going to be up to Boston is an option, but it's going to be between New York, maybe L.A., maybe Brooklyn, because Brooklyn looks real good. Um, it'll be a recruiting war between LeBron and KD. Who can get
Let,
Kyrie?
let me ask you a follow up question real quick to something you said. You said that they should wait and try to get a free agent because it'll be better for them. I think that kind of bit him in the butt or bit him in the ass with Paul George, bit him in the ass with Kawhi Leonard. Do you think they should be aggressive and just go ahead and get AD and figure out everything later? Even though you're right, it will be better this summer, but I'm thinking they should just go ahead and bulldoze their way into New Orleans and get AD and get LeBron and just figure out everything else later.
Okay. Well, one of the things that you have to think about, I wouldn't say it bit them because they offered something for Paul George. Indiana stated that they were not trading him to the Lakers, period. They don't care what the Lakers sent. Same thing with the Spurs. I heard an offer of they Hart, Ingram, Ball, Kuzma, and two first round picks, and Spurs declined it. So, under no circumstances, and you see Greg Popovich has already talked to the Pelicans GM saying don't budge into the Lakers. So, the Lakers are in a tough stance because nobody wants to work with them.
Yeah.
Nobody deal with them. Period.
Okay. Okay. Let's go to Neely and see what Neely. Neely, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, as far as the Anthony Davis, the initial trade request, I feel like he's kind of forced into doing it because of the super teams. Like he's at this point, he's one of those players that feels like, all right, I want to go down in the pantheon of all-time greats. That's going to require rings. For me to get any type of ring at this particular point, I'm going to have to go team up with a LeBron, or I'm going to have to team up with a Kyrie and a couple of other guys to be able to take down this Golden State team, assuming they keep two or three of the guys that they already have, especially if they keep three. So, I mean, at this point, he hasn't had really any deep runs in his career. The Pelicans hadn't gotten him anybody besides the Boogie thing, and then they weren't able to hold on or keep Boogie over there. So at this point, Anthony Davis to me has to, look out for his best interest, which we'll cover later. But it goes into the player movement, and the players kind of determining what the trajectory of their career is going to actually be. Now, as far as where he's going to go and whether the Pelicans should budge or give up on him as far as trading him to the Lakers, personally, I feel like obviously they'll get a better package from Boston. But he's also pretty much eliminated Boston as far as saying he ain't gonna go there. So the leverage that I felt like the Pelicans were gonna initially have, they're starting to lose. At this point, I would just try my best to get the absolute most that I can get from the Lakers, and move on from the whole Anthony Davis thing and kind of rebuild my program that way. Of course, you're not going to get the exact star power back, so you guys to kind of hope you get something as far as some tradable assets that you can later on move for somebody big, or you mess around and get a perfect draft pick or something to that standard. Now, from the Lakers' point of view, though, I mean, I do think they should be very aggressive as far as, all right, we already got LeBron. You assume you're going to get at least, 3 more prime type of years from LeBron. You get Anthony Davis entering his prime with a huge upward trajectory. You go ahead and take that. Like, honestly, like some people have said, pretty much anybody on the team can be touched at this particular point. I'm selling it all out besides trying to keep a couple of expiring contracts for me to bring in that third player in with those two guys. Because even if it's just LeBron and AD, even though I think, just the two of them with the right role players can give Golden State a run for their money, I think the team's too good to beat with just two superstars as opposed to getting that third. Now, if they're able to hold on to, an expiring contract from, I think it's Pope or somebody like that, and then they can still get one of those max free agents. You bring in Kawhi with Anthony Davis and LeBron, or you bring in even a Jimmy Butler with those particular guys with the defense that they can play against Golden State, and then they have some real tough matchups for Golden State to be able to defend, or, not just overlooking the Rockets, even the matchups with the Rockets would benefit the Lakers at that particular point. I would be in for it now, as opposed to saying I'm trying to build this great dynasty over some length of time. Like right now, in the next 2 to 3 years, you can get 2 to 3 championships. I will go ahead and jump on that opportunity as quick as I could if I was the Lakers. So,
What are your thoughts on that, Liam? I know you don't really agree.
I'm with going in and aggressive because you have to get AD. But there's a couple points I think what you guys are missing or saying the third free agent. If you get Anthony Davis because of how the cap, okay, so how it works with a team is that I can, if I have the cap space right now, I can add a free agent. Then I can trade the teams that the players on my team um, with their salaries for a like salary. So if my salaries add up with Anthony Davis' salary, I can get him. Now, if I get that right now, Anthony Davis' salary is going to count against my cap space. I can't get a third big time free agent unless they want to take a $10 million discount a year. So if you go in for Anthony Davis, you can't add a third piece.
But what if they added? What if they added a third piece? Let's say like a Bradley Beal, somebody who's not an A+ player but a B+ player. What if they added? I think they can win with a guy like that.
But
I
this
don't.
is
I
the
don't
thing.
think they need an A+ player.
I'm with you. But if you go after Bradley Beal is out the contract. Meaning so you would have to trade him. What trade assets would you have after you trade everything for Anthony Davis? All right. And then you also got to think of now you may be able to get a player like a Chris Middleton who's pretty good or something like that. And that may be something that you may want to look at. But as far as like you talking about the market of a Kyrie, Kawhi, and all those guys, if you get AD, that's not in your realm of possibility. So that's
but
what
I
I'm
think
So
those
go ahead.
possibilities are still there because you'll have it depends on the expiring contracts you have.
No,
Like now, in one of the trade scenarios, they were unloading Rondo, but if they were to keep Rondo and Pope, and you have those expiring contracts, I think you could still make the money work. Now, the back end of I mean, obviously that roster is going to be extremely top heavy, and the back end is going to be terrible as far as any type of depth. But if you have those three marquee players, if they're able to still sign one based on the expiring contracts, then I think you got a juggernaut, and you just got to basically blow teams out. And then hope LeBron them can get a rest every now and then because they don't have a bench.
I'm with that, but the money doesn't work. Is what I'm saying. They won't have the money available to get enough, even with this expiring contracts. Because Caldwell Pope was $12 million, Rondo is $8 billion. That's 20. You also got to think about Dean contract is going to count against them next year.
How much does Dang have left this year?
They spread it out over years, so his contract is like $4 million a year for the next 3 or 4 years.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So, okay, the way I'm thinking about it too, Liam, is I get what you're saying with the money, but I'm with Neely on this one, and I'm with. I guess I can say I'm with both of y'all because both of y'all make solid points on this. Because Liam, what you're saying, the Lakers can set themselves up for the long run. What Neely is saying, and what I like, because I'm a LeBron fan, I'm not a Laker fan, I'm a LeBron fan, so I'm looking at it from a short-term point of view. Like, hey, let's get AD. And let's get some shooters around them and maybe a C plus, B plus level player, like a Bradley Beal type player, like a Kemba Walker type player. And those three guys with shooters and defenders, with 3 and D guys, I think they could win a championship.
Right, good. But how are they going to get Bradley Beal? He on contract.
No. I'm saying a Bradley Beal type player, like a free agent. Like I'm thinking if you got somebody like Tyreke Evans, 6'7" guy who could shoot the three, handle the ball, defensive guy. He's about to be a free agent. Guys like that could be that third or fourth guy to help him. You could pull in 2 guys like that for $8 to $10 million a year each.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Now, don't get me wrong. I say you got to go for AD. You got to give everything you got, the Staples Center included. You got to give everything to get them there. So I agree with that. I just want to know what the direction would be after that.
Thank you for listening to the PVR Sports Podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch new episodes and PVR clips. Like our Facebook page and share with your friends if you enjoyed this podcast. As we say in the South, catch you later.